What's up, serotonin searchers? Welcome back to another episode of the Search for Serotonin podcast. I am your host, Carolyn Farrick, and once again, for the last week, I am joined by Olivia Farrick, our temporary co-host. And this week we are doing another episode of the OCD versus OCPD mini-series. And this is actually our last episode in the mini-series. So thank you, Olivia, for being here yet again.
Of course, it's my pleasure.
Olivia's like, damn, I'm just getting good at this shit, and now I'm never gonna have to do it again.
I know, expert podcaster.
Hey,
I have to retire now.
Yeah, add it to your resume. Say you're done. You did your time. You served. You're good.
You can go anywhere from here.
No, that just made me think. Have you ever seen the SNL skit? They did it like this past season, where they were talking about the overturning of Roe v. Wade, and they were just like, oh, do your 9, just you get pregnant, do your 9, you're done, have your baby, move on. So that's what do your 9, do your time.
Yeah.
And just me saying you served made me think of that. I thought that was funny.
That's so silly.
So giggle, ha. Yeah, but not only are Olivia and I mentally unhinged this week, we are also physically unhinged because we both feel like absolute butthole garbage shit.
I'm illin.
I'm illin hard. We both just took like naps and we put off recording till the absolute last possible second. But once again, here we are. We're showing up. We're doing the damn thing.
I know. No one knows that I have a tummy ache and I'm being so brave about it.
I'm so brave. In 5 hours, Olivia's gonna knock on my door and go, I throwed up.
I throwed up.
That's
and
Olivia's signature childhood moment. I throwed up.
I throwed up. Okay. I'm not ashamed.
I'm not ashamed. So yeah, Olivia, tell us how you're doing this week. What's going on in your life, your mental health?
It's been another week. It's been hard because whenever the week before my period, I always have like very intense depression, and it's very difficult, but it's getting better, I guess.
I am never more like wanting to unalive myself than I am the night before I start my period.
Yeah, except it's the whole week for me.
Oh, you do the whole week? I'm like one and done. The day before, I'm like mega bitch. I will like literally scream at somebody for like looking at me. I'm so uncomfortable. I cry a bunch, and it's like one day in and out, and then I'm good.
No, it's not even like anger. It's just like, I don't want to live.
Yeah.
I'll jump off a building right now. Don't test me. There's no point. I failed at everything. Might as well stop here.
It's like that SpongeBob thing where they're like, I'll jump off this building, but you want to see me do it again because I did so fast? I'll do it again.
I'll do it twice.
I'll do it twice.
Don't test. Don't test me.
Oh my God. No, that's literally the worst though. Like, fuck periods. Basically,
yeah. Getting a hysterectomy. If you guys want to donate to my hysterectomy, I'll start a GoFundMe.
DM Olivia on Instagram to set up that GoFundMe and get started on her hysterectomy fund.
Yeah. If you want to give me money for nothing in exchange, we can do that.
Oh, something I did want to tell the listeners about my week, since you never ask about my week.
Sorry. Maybe I don't care.
Like, 1, I don't care. 2, even if I didn't ask, you're still going to tell me unprompted. So here we go.
Anyway, I thought that was like part of your setup. So maybe you should get back to the setup.
You should get better at doing your fucking shit, bitch. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Okay. So my week that I
Anyway, how was your week? Anyway.
No, literally today is 1 year after my breaking of my ankle, going through surgery, going through PT, going through the whole rehab process, not leaving from my house for like 4 months straight, not being able to literally like do anything by myself. I couldn't drive, all that shit. And the other night I was cooking dinner, and like Corbin had left to like run and go grab us some like drinks and stuff. And I was cooking dinner, and it was just like so hot, and it like brought me back to like last summer when I would get like so overheated so easily. And like I would try and like do normal things like cook myself dinner or just like daily things to help me function. And it would be so overwhelming because of like my ankle and all the medication I was on and like how shitty I felt. And so literally I started like feeling like I was like suffocating and like the air was so hot that it was like, encompassing me and I couldn't breathe. And then that made me like flash back to like being in the shower out like after my surgery because like any closed space and like the overwhelming amount of effort it took for me to like get up and get into the shower and like actually like go through the whole process in the heat. Like I would get in this tiny ass shower and I'd be on a stool and I would just be like suffocating in there. And so then like I would have these really bad panic attacks every time I would go into the shower and I would literally have to like have Corbin come in and like pull me out and lay me on the ground. And I would have to like lay there for like 40 minutes before I could get back in the shower and like calm myself down. And so like it all just like flashed back to like those moments within like the short 10 to 15 minutes he was gone. So I literally had to go sit at the table and I was like holding my face because I was like, I can't breathe right now. This is not real. I was like, I feel so trapped. Like everything is so like much right now. But literally, like, once I just like was able to breathe a little bit, I just told myself, like, it's been a year. Everything's fine. Like, you're not stuck anymore. You can get in your car, you can go somewhere, like, you could step outside and literally be fine. Like, you're not trapped anymore. But
Mhm.
I don't know. It was really scary because I haven't had a panic attack like that probably since last summer.
Yeah.
And like, just I don't know, getting like sucked into that environment and like going through the motions of thinking about like, this was a year ago, this is where I was at. And like breaking my ankle was a big part of this podcasting journey and like me starting to do all this stuff and make these transitions. So like it's just weird to think like we're a year out from that now. And like it was just kind of all overwhelming that I was like processing like, holy shit, it's actually been this long.
Yeah. Crazy.
So I was having panic attacks in my kitchen this week,
Yeah.
NBD.
Uh,
Libby's like, I still don't give a fuck, actually. Can we move on?
yeah. No. But no, that's good that you've made a bunch of progress in the year and have been able to move forward from it. And it brought you to this podcast. So slay.
So slay
No,
queen.
because we went to the fortune teller. For the listeners that don't know, we went to the fortune teller a year ago, and they said that Carolyn would have a major business moment. And I was like, well, what if breaking your leg was the major money moves? And then it was. So
Literally, not what was it, like a week or two before I broke my leg, the lady was
yeah.
like, in 3 months, you're going to get this big opportunity and you have to take it and you have to go for it. And I was like, okay, whatever, full of shit. Then 2 weeks later, I broke my leg. And then 3 months after that, I quit my job and started this. So
Yeah. Major money moves. Major bag alert.
yeah, major bag alert. Not yet, but one day
Well, one day.
it's gonna pull through.
Mhm.
So hold your horses, people. You're along for the ride.
It will be a major bag alert.
Yes. Maybe, who knows? Y'all actually, shameless plug here, nice segue, but this is the last week of the mini series, and that means next week we will be back here for season 2 of the Search for Serotonin podcast. In this off season, like I wanted to take the month of July to do the mini series with Olivia. I wanted to take pressure off the podcast, just kind of like sit down with Olivia, record, have fun, just make it more laid back, less serious, so I could kind of take some time to figure out what direction I wanted to go towards in season 2. And as you guys know, I did a lot of guests in season 1, and I was really kind of like quick to jump into the guest space and getting other people involved in this podcast. But I think what I've realized is I really want to take it back to the beginning, kind of take it back to where I was last year, really focus on the things that are important to me and my journey. So I am going to try and do a solo season 2. That might, I still might throw like a guest or two in there every once in a while, but really just want to keep it solo for season 2, kind of build up more of what this podcast is for all of you, maybe help you guys out a little bit more. So I have come up with some fun new segments, some fun new topics that we can talk about every single week. So you guys will have to come back next week and tune in and listen to the first episode of season 2 with our new format and some new podcast segments for everyone.
Listen, girlies. Woo.
Olivia is a huge recruiter for this podcast, whether she knows it or not, but all of her little
All of my friends listen.
Yeah, all of your friends follow me on Instagram. So if you're one of Olivia's hoes, shout out. Like,
Yeah.
shout out to the
let's give a shout out to Emily and Matthew, because I know they listen.
Yes. Shout out Emily, shout out Matthew. Are they MILF hunters as well?
Emily definitely.
Yeah,
she's a MILF hunter.
Well, Emily,
we'll shout her out.
Thank you for listening to the podcast. Thank you for being a fellow MILF hunter. We live, we stand, we breathe.
Shout out to MILF hunters in general.
Yeah. All the MILFs out there. We love you.
Basically.
We see you. We value you.
We see you. We value you. We want you.
All right, Olivia, since this is the last episode of the mini series, let's take a little bit of time to just talk about how the series went. How was your podcasting experience? Did you learn anything? What are your takeaways? Tell us.
I've learned that I say like a lot.
No, literally.
I listen back to these and I'm like, that's disgusting. But okay, I guess this is what the people want to hear. So
if podcast is going to teach you one thing, it's going to be that you say like and every other word.
Yeah. And I also what have I learned? It's that it's not good to do a podcast when you're severely depressed, because you won't give the people what they want. I've learned to pause before I speak and think about and ruminate on what I'm going to say. And just, it's good to talk about your mental health. You don't have to hide, girlies, because there's somebody else that's going through the same thing that you are. Basically.
Slay.
And that's a slay.
And that's a toot. Oh my God. No, I feel you on that though. Like the whole like being depressed in podcasting is a lot more difficult than you think it would be, because at least for me, when I'm depressed, like I'm really trying to hide it a lot of the times, because that's just like the habits that I've brought into my own mental health journey. So like for most of my experience, I've just been like, oh, don't show you're depressed, or you can't let people know you're struggling. But like, I don't know. I think my expectations for this mini series were a lot higher than what actually we got to, or what I actually like planned out for us, just because
we're bad.
We're both depressed.
Suck at this, guys. But it's okay.
Yeah, but like that's the thing is like, yeah, we could have planned it out and done things differently, but like that wouldn't have been authentic to us or where we're at in our own lives or what we're dealing with. And like, yeah, we were fucking depressed, and last episode was, a little low energy for both of us, but like we've been going through a lot, like you're dealing with a bunch of shit this summer, I'm dealing with shit always because mentally unhinged. But like, it's about still like showing up and still like, going about your life. You may not feel 100%, but you don't have to like fake it. You can show up wherever you're at in life. And if you feel like shit, that doesn't mean you have to hide from the world. Nothing is wrong with you for not meeting the expectations you set inside your head.
Yeah. Just putting forth the effort. Starting something is the hardest part. So if you can start it, then you're already like 90% there.
Yeah. It's really just taking that first step. Like that's what gets me, is like my anxiety will like literally consume me a lot of the times before I get to take the first step to do something. So like recently, like with my walks, I talk about, I take morning walk, and like recently my anxiety has been really bad. So I'll wake up in the morning and I'm like, today's the day. I'm going to get back on the schedule. I'm going to get back on the routine. Like walking makes me feel so good every morning. And like, it's really positive on like my health and mental health. But then I'll wake up in the morning and, I'll be like, okay, just get up, just take the step, put your clothes on, walk out the door. It's not that hard. You just have to do it. But then my anxiety is literally in my head, like, oh, but this is why you shouldn't, or this is something you should fear and prevent you from going outside. And so like, it's really hard when your anxiety is like in control, because it's not always as easy as just like, oh, just take the step. But like taking the step is the hardest part, and really like is what you have to overcome to like get back into things.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very hard, especially like what you were saying with like hobbies and everything. It's just like doing something is going to help you get out of that um, sense of depression. Even if you're not the best at something, you might think, well, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. Why should I even do this? Because it's something I struggle with a lot is like, well, I'm going to suck at it. So why even like bother doing it?
Yep.
But you know what, girlies, you got to start doing it if you want to be good at it. This past weekend, I always struggle with like, oh my gosh, I wanted like work in the outdoor field. I suck at this. I don't have any experience. Girlies, I went on a hike by myself and I went fishing. And that's gonna help me and to become better. Because you know what? I challenged
Yeah.
myself. I went out there. I was sweating. I caught some fish by myself.
And see, that's like the best part of it though, is that you did it the first time. You got past those fears. And even though in your head, you might walk away from that first hike or that first fish and say, oh yeah, I did that. Like, fuck yeah, we can do that again. But then your voice, like the voices inside your head are going to say, well, this is why you shouldn't, or this is why like you should just give up, and like next time you get to go back and be like, okay, this is what I did last time, but this is how I can do it better, or this is how I can
Mhm.
make it easier, or this can be more fun. Like if I do it this way, like you don't have to follow all those rules and stuff that you put in your head. And
Yeah.
like, this is such a good example. I'm so glad we got to this point. Like, because this past weekend, Corbin and I went golfing for the first time in like 5 years. We both said we wanted to go. He used to golf with his dad when he was little. I used to go golfing with our dad all the time when I was little. And we rented all this stuff, got out there, got out to the course, and got up to the first hole. And I was like, no, let all these people go past us. Like, I want to wait. I want to wait. I don't want anyone to be around. Like, I don't want them to look at me. I don't want people to see me like sucking because I haven't played since I was like 8. So I'm going to be so bad. And like getting into the habits of golfing again, it brought back all these feelings when like we would go golfing with dad and he would be like so serious. He'd be like, you have to be quiet and you have to do this and you have to follow these rules. And if you do this, then it's wrong. And you like can't do that on the golf course. And like you have to hit it a certain way and you have to like have all these techniques and skills. And like just being in that environment again brought up all of these old like, because I used to get so anxious over that. Like I didn't want to like ever like step out of line or be wrong or do the technique wrong. And like, I was just had so much internalized like perfectionism in me. And like that was my OCPD. But like being back in that environment and like going through the motions again, like I literally was having a meltdown on the first fucking hole. Like I
Mhm.
was like, I'd hit it and it would go like 2 feet over there and I would freak out and I would like my whole body would tense up and I would get like shaking so mad because I was like so angry. And I was telling Corbin, I was like, I just suck. We should just leave. Like, there's no point. Like, I'm going to take so long and we're going to hold so many people up and this is embarrassing and I should just quit. Like, and like, because that's all the like how I always felt when I would go golfing when I was younger, and Corbin looked at me and he goes, hey, like, we haven't played in so long. Like, we're not supposed to be perfect. Like, we just came to have fun, like to be outside, walk around, have some like time to ourselves and just have fun. He's like, we don't need to play to win. We can just play to have fun. And like,
Yeah.
that's why I love dating Corbin because like his perspective is always like so polar opposite to mine. And it's
Yeah. Shout out to Corbin.
literally it's like when you're in those moments and you're like in the heat of that anxiety and that like clench that like OCPD has on you and that need to be perfect all the time, even when you're just trying to like have fucking fun and be happy. Like I like my body gets so tense and then Corbin's like, hey, we can have fun. We can be happy. We can laugh. Like it's no big deal. And like that whole like reminder that like, oh, it's just in my head. Like it literally just like pulls you right out of that. And it feels like so like lightening, like, like the weight is being taken off your shoulder and you're like, oh shit, yeah, I can actually just fucking have fun.
Yeah. No
So,
pressures. No pressures, girlies.
so long story short, we finished out all of the holes. We got better each time. I had great hits. And then I
Mhm.
manifested us finding used golf clubs at a yard sale. And we got both of our clubs, mine and Corbin's, for $50. So that's just the universe telling me, like, bitch, go have fun, play golf, like, do this with your man, have a good time.
Mhm.
So,
And you did it.
yeah. And I'm going to go golfing again and you're going to go hiking and fishing again and we're only going to get better at it and it's only going to become more fun and more natural for us.
Yeah, girls.
Yes.
The first step is starting.
Did you catch any fish, by the way?
I did. I caught like 6 or 7 combination of bluegills and sunfish.
Oh, sunfish are so fun.
Yeah, they're really cool.
Vibes.
I like the bluegills. They were cool. I wanted to catch some trout. The rainbow trout eludes me to this day, but one day I will get a sick rainbow trout.
The rainbow trout, just like the MILF, eludes me to this day.
No, literally, I don't have a sweatshirt. I do have a sweatshirt that says "Women want me and fish fear me," and I don't have that for nothing. Okay,
Wait, that's iconic.
I have it for a reason.
You need to
Shout out
wear
to my
that.
boyfriend who bought that for me because he knows.
Shout out to Spam.
Yeah, shout out to Sam. He knows.
No, Spam only.
Spam only.
Spam
Shout out to
only.
Spam. I don't think he listens to these, but shout out to him anyway.
Word. We love that. We love growth for us. We love coming out of our depression era. Like literally, literally, I was on Facebook today.
Coming out of it. Okay.
We're on the up and up, you know. Things are
Whatever.
looking up. Things are going
Stop
in the right
lying for
direction.
clicks and engagement.
Clicks
You're
and
lying for clicks,
engagement.
views, and engagement right now.
No, literally, no. This week, I'm like, last week, depressed. Whole summer, depressed. Literally,
Whole
after
summer.
therapy yesterday, I have a whole new life breathed into me. I have like goals now. I have aspirations. I have shit to work towards. Like, I'm
That's
like
crazy.
a whole new person. I swear to God, it's something about the back half of the year, like the last half of the year. Like, I won't do anything the first half of the year. I'm like worthless. The time goes by like that. I'm usually like out of it. And then the last half of the year, like starting in August, I'm like, I'm gonna accomplish literally 1,000,000,001 things, and I'm gonna like change my whole life in like 6 months.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And not, I guess doable.
Some call
I
it
don't know.
mania, others call it
Some call it
mental illness.
mental illness, I guess.
It's mental illness, love. No, but what I was saying was I was on Facebook this morning and I saw this meme, and it was like a meme of just like Kylie Jenner like cheersing a drink, and it said me realizing that I watched 50 hours of Love Island in the past 2 months instead of like growing, changing, or bettering my life. And I was like, it's called summer depression and it's very normal. Thank you.
Yeah, they should leave us alone.
That's why they put Love Island on in the summer for all the depressed people who can't make it outside.
Basically.
So, any final thoughts on the mini series?
Well, it's been a great time being here and telling people about my experience with OCD. So, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on and sharing your honest perspective with OCD. I think it really is, like, all jokes aside, super important to highlight, OCD and what the reality of that looks like, but also how it differentiates from OCPD. Um, Before we move on to the last segment of the episode, I just want to ask, what is one final thing that you would like to say about your OCD for the people? Tell them what they need to hear.
About my OCD,
Mm-hmm.
I would like to tell the people that if you know somebody in your life who is struggling with OCD, just be patient with them. They're trying their best. They're trying to not constantly succumb to their compulsions. So just talk to them, ask if there's anything you can do. Yeah,
Love
respect
that.
it.
Yeah, we respect that for sure. Because sometimes when you're going through it, you don't really want people around. So I think it's
Yeah,
always the best thing to say, like, hey, let me know if you need anything, or what do you need? Or like, can I give you space? Like, all that kind of stuff. Just checking in and just being like, what's going on, basically.
yeah.
Love that.
Very true, girls.
Yes. For all the people with OCPD out there, I would say don't let your goddamn intrusive thoughts win. Because they are so prevalent with OCPD, and like this can go for anybody because everybody struggles with intrusive thoughts, but like don't let them take control of your life. You are so much more than your intrusive thoughts. And I recently heard that you don't have control of your first thought, but you do have control of your like second thought. So,
Mhm.
like you can have the intrusive thought, but then from there you can think, okay, but is this true? Or like, what's the positive here? Like, how can I turn this and like this thought into something positive? Or how can I, move forward from this thought, or get away from it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So just remember that your thoughts are there, but not all of them are true, and you have the power to change them.
Change your life, girlies.
Change your life. But it takes time, so it's not going to happen overnight. So just remember that too.
Yeah.
It takes growth and change and a fuck ton of therapy.
It takes at least 2 days. At least. Okay.
2 pinches of Lexapro.
Yeah. 3 pinches of Lexapro.
Oh,
Remember, girls, don't go off your Lexapro without talking to your doctor. That's what I've learned from this series. That's what I brought to this series.
Literally that part all the way.
Mm-hmm.
Stay on your meds. Do not aggressively jump off of them because it'll fuck up your life and it's really hard to get back on them. Speaking from personal life experience from right now.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. All right.
It will hurt you.
It will, for facts. But Olivia, before we let you go for your last ever podcasting episode, and not last ever, you can come back whenever you want.
If the girls want me back, I'll come back.
And the girls, the gays, the maze,
They do.
the maze, the men
Put this in the thumbnail.
want you
Put this in the
back.
thumbnail, Carolyn. They want me back. Do it.
Do it. She's a himbo, a thembo.
Yeah, basically.
The people want
no
it.
muscles, but I pretend.
Oh my God.
Fish fear me. That's what I want everyone to take away from this.
Women want her, fish fear her.
Shit, sorry. Ask your question.
No, I was just gonna, it's not even a question. I was just gonna provide some insight for the people. I did a little bit of research and just did a quick Google search to see what celebrities are known to have OCD and or OCPD. And let me tell you, I could not find a lot on this, but I always like, comparing like the media and people in the public eye to, mental health, because no one is immune from it. We're all going through it. And so I thought it'd be kind of cool just to share some celebrities that we all know who also struggle with these disorders and who also struggle with these disorders. So OCPD, obviously, I could not find a lot on OCPD because literally there's barely even any research out about OCPD. But I did find some celebrities who were rumored to have OCPD. So the 3 common ones that I could find were Steve Jobs, Estee Lauder, Henry Hines were the 3 that are rumored to have it. And then I also saw that an article said Shakira struggled with perfectionism, so that could have been linked to OCPD.
Wow. All very successful people.
No, dead ass. Steve Jobs, even though he was kind of unhinged and kind of aggressive, he was he made Apple, he made one of the top companies, and he's now going down in history. Estee Lauder is one of the bougiest fucking makeup lines, so successful, high end. And then Henry Hines literally owns Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So
OCD was a much longer list. There a lot more celebrities publicly speaking out about OCD. So just some of the ones that I found included Megan Fox, Daniel Radcliffe, Frank Sinatra, Howie Mandel, Leonardo DiCaprio, David Beckham, Katy Perry, John Green, and Camilla Cabello.
Slay. All very creative and cool people. So
yeah, so many people with so much personality.
Yeah.
Katy Perry, very colorful individual. Megan Fox is such a great actress. Frank Sinatra was and is the legend of all legends.
Yeah. So these people have worked through their mental illness and still managed to succeed. So there's no reason why you can't. Basically.
It's
not me, but you guys can.
Not I will not be succeeding.
I simply can't, but I believe in you guys.
Believe in y'all. No, but it is it's the perspective thing, putting into the perspective of just because you have a mental health issue or mental disorder or one of these specific disorders, even though sometimes it does feel very crippling and you can't live a normal life or the life you want to or find the happiness you want to. And I'm sure, these celebrities, they're not happy 24/7. They're not always super in great moods, they have ups and downs just like everyone else. But, you can still get to where you want to go with the right treatment for you and finding a way to manage it in a way that works for you, and just letting go of what works for everyone else and just really focusing on yourself and what you want in your life. So that was the main takeaway. Slay, boots the house down. Well, Olivia, thank you again for being here. I've really enjoyed doing this mini series with you. I think it was really cool for you to share your stories and just share yourself with my audience, because you are a badass person and you're always fun to be around. So the world needed to see that.
Thanks, girls. I love to be here and share my allegedly interesting self with you guys.
Hell yeah. Olivia will be back for sure. She can definitely come on the podcast anytime. So she has pull up in this bitch.
I guess I'm bringing like 50% of the audience. So
Olivia's like, run me my check, motherfucker. Let's go.
My 2 jobs aren't cutting it.
Literally. All right, serotonin searchers, thank you so much for being here for another week of the Search for Serotonin podcast. Like I said, next week we will be back with season 2, all new format, all new segments, all new topics to talk about. And we're doing it all solo because Olivia will be moving on and eventually be moving back into school. So she can't stick around forever. So tune back in next week to hear all of the new content. Olivia, let the people know where they can find you and follow you and stay up to date with your journey and your life.
You can find me at Olivia Ferrick on Instagram.
Hell yeah. Go give her a follow. Go stay up to date with her life. She's going into her senior year of college. So she's about to have her thought era, not her flop era. So give her some love.
Yeah.
Vibes.
Only success.
All right, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. If you haven't already, go rate and review the podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And as always, remember, this world is better with you in it. Peace out. Love you guys.